But I think one of it is I have two older sisters that are 8 to 10 years older than me each, and they're both pharmacists too, so it makes for a pretty boring dinner conversation. I think they paved the way, led the way, and I thought, you know what they do is really neat. I got to see that as I grew up and stuff, and really wanted to focus on that, but I always knew that I wanted to do something in healthcare. I know that you mentioned pharmacology isn't necessarily the most interesting thing, but it is to me, and I find it fascinating in the different ways that medications can work and interact within your body.
You know, that is the cool thing. Like, I was just talking about this in the office yesterday, that sometimes I talk to my clients and I find out that they have the coolest jobs ever. And, you know, when you figure out what that thing is that you go, oh, that is, so for me, food therapy is my thing. So I do traditional Chinese veterinary medicine, I do chiropractic, you know, I do acupuncture, I do herbal therapy, but food is the thing that I just, you know, for me, that's like the golden dream, you know, just I'm going to talk about food all day and I'm going to heal my patients with food. And it's really interesting because, you know, for you, pharmacology is really interesting. For me, I tortured my students when I taught it. I will say that our local college for the technician program, the years that I taught the pharmacology, because I was a mean teacher, I really tortured them. But on the national board exams, that college had the highest grades in pharmacology 3 years in a row. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, so while I did torture them, I did get it into their brains. But, you know, for me, it's you make a mistake. You know, I worked in a practice where somebody gave 1 cc of insulin instead of 1 unit of insulin. It's kind of a big mistake, kind of a big problem. And, you know, so for me, I never want to be the one responsible for causing the death of one of my patients because I made a mistake with a medication, and I wanted my technician students to understand, you know, how important that was. So were your parents involved in medical field?
They're actually not. They definitely work in something else, but when it comes down to it, I think what I can appreciate looking back, I guess I didn't appreciate as much growing up, but they were very strict parents about focusing on your studies and making sure that you got the education that you need to get to where you want to be. So can't thank them enough for that part. I'm also probably listening now thinking, oh gosh, eye roll.
Well, of course we were strict. Isn't that what parents do? The answer is no. I mean, my son is very successful, but I don't think he read a book. Well, I know he didn't read a book in high school. I'm pretty sure he graduated magna cum laude from college, and I don't think he ever read a book there either. So, you know.
Well, magazines work too.
You know, he's very much a computer oriented person, and so I think he read a lot of online stuff. But you know, I don't know if he even owns a book. I have no idea. So Fred, Harvard.
Yeah, went to business school over there. It was fun, actually. It was a lot of fun.
Now, are you originally from France?
Yeah, I'm actually half Egyptian and half French, and I grew up. My dad was in the oil field services business, and so we traveled. I was born in Abu Dhabi and then moved to all sorts of other countries, and then did my undergrad in France, did grad school in California, then worked for this startup that we were doing these really cool coronary drug-eluting stents, and we ended up getting bought out by J&J, and then I moved. Went to Boston to Harvard, and then worked for a bank, and then started Mixlab after that. Long journey to get here.
I was going to say that was a very winding path, but yeah. You know, I'm a firm believer in everything happens the way it's supposed to, so that you land where you're supposed to land. Yeah. Frankly, if anyone had said to me when I was in undergrad, I mean, I always, you know, I always knew I was going to be a veterinarian. I think it started when I was about 12 years old, and I was just like, yeah, this is just what I'm going to do. So I was very focused and single-minded. I did my undergrad in 3 years instead of 4 because I was just like anxious. I wanted to get started. And now I look back and go, oh, my gosh, why didn't I take more vacations? But, but I was, you know, it's just very single-minded and wanted to do that. But when I went to school in the Midwest. I went to the University of Illinois because we don't have a vet school here in New Jersey. And it was very traditional. It was, a lot of farm animals, large animals, but just everything very traditional. And I was not a believer in anything alternative, anything holistic. And frankly, I really just thought that I would graduate, get a job, just be an employee and just, kind of putter through my veterinary career and save animals and be a happy person. And nowhere in that first 5 years did I ever think, hey, someday I'll have a radio show and write books and talk about holistic medicine and treat my animals with anything other than prescription diets made by big food companies. If somebody had asked me back then if I would be doing what I'm doing now, I would have had no clue.
Yeah. Well, that's very cool. That makes. I'm a firm believer that all these various experiences that we sort of lived over time just definitely contribute to the current situation, the current success. So I enjoyed having been through all that, and it sounds like you have too. So that's good.
Yeah, well, I mean, certainly being a medical device engineer puts you in touch with the pharmaceutical industry and the medical industry, and then working for a bank. I mean, hey, at least you guys are great because you've got a business person on board. I'm floundering. I'm a veterinarian trying to do my own business stuff.
Yeah. I can spend all day on Excel and just run numbers if we need one of those.
And if you send me an Excel spreadsheet, I look at it and it's like a blank wall for me. I have no idea how to work one. I have no idea what to do with one. People tell me, just put it in a spreadsheet, and I just laugh. Nope, not happening. Not happening at all.
Well, if you need help on that, you can definitely call me up.
Oh, good. I'll just send you a bunch of numbers. Hey, could you put this in a spreadsheet?
He's actually really good at it, Dr. Morgan. Just send it over. Save yourself the time and trouble.
There you go. Well, it's interesting because I hired a millennial he's actually my son's business partner, but he helps me with my social media and my weekly newsletters. And I sat there one day. I took him to a Facebook marketing course with me, and so he's sitting next to me. And what the instructor was talking about was a little bit boring, and it was stuff that we had already been doing. And so I looked next to me, and here's this guy Carlos sitting next to me, and he's got his computer open, and don't know what happened. He's sitting there writing this newsletter for me. We call it the Friday Five. And I look over, and literally if I had to write the Friday Five, it would take me all week. Like I would start working on Friday night for the next Friday. I look over, and literally in 5 minutes, his mouse is flying around his mouse pad, and he is just clicking here and clicking there and copying and pasting and putting in pictures and editing things. And I just looked over and went, yeah, that's why I pay you, because there's no way. That would take me forever.
That's great.
Millennials, they're really good at some things. Love them dearly.
Yeah. We have a few millennials here, right, Vinnie? We had one yesterday that took a typing test. He did 100 words per minute at the typing test, which is...
I believe it was 104.
104.
And the interesting thing about that, they didn't take typing in school. They just...
Yeah.
It's self-taught because they're on computers all the time.
Yep.
I mean, I took typing in high school. It was like the only business course that I took. It was considered business to take typing because it was secretarial back at that point. And I could type 110 words a minute back then, but I had to take a typing course to do it. And I watch how my kids type, and they don't type anything like I do, but they're faster than me.
Yeah, pretty soon it's going to be typing tests on an iPhone and taught in school.
Oh, well, forget that, because, my thumbs do not work near as fast as theirs do. I had to have peer pressure. That's all. Well, maybe I had to have my daughter give me Instagram lessons. She came up for Christmas. I'm like, honey, all I want for Christmas is Instagram lessons. Can you show me how to do this? I know they just look. I'm older than you guys, but but then I look at my parents and I'm like, why can't you figure this out? It's like when we had to program the VCRs, and you guys may not. I mean, you probably never even owned a VCR.
Yeah. No, I think we had a VCR.
Yeah, I had one.
Yeah, they're those things that just, flash 12 o'clock all the time because nobody could figure out how to set the clocks.
Sure.
I will say mine did too. Okay, we are out of time. This has been really fun, guys. Thanks for everything that you're doing. Anyone who's interested, it's mixlabrx.com. Go check it out. Even if you're not in the area, maybe you can convince your veterinarian that they should consider getting things through these guys and convincing them that they need to be in your state as well, because what they do and the way they send things out is really kind of fun. So, Fred and Vinnie, thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for being my guests. Enjoy the rest of your week, and keep doing the good work for our animals.
Thank you so much for having us. Really fun time, and look forward to connecting in the future.
We absolutely will. Until next week, hug your pets.
That's all for today. Find more answers to your questions next time on Dr. Judy Morgan's Naturally Healthy Pets every Monday and Tuesday at 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern Time by going to DreamVision7Radio.com. Join holistic veterinarian Dr. Judy to discover healthy options for raising your pets in a more holistic manner. Visit drjudymorgan.com to learn more.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.